I love you, hammer gun. Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here. As you might have already figured out, I tend to avoid the conventional choices. Today is the same, and I bring to you the Gasshia. At first glance, one might think, hey, isn't this one of those Xeon-like amphibious suits? I can't blame you for thinking that, but funny enough, this thing was designed for space. Of course, the best way to design a mobile suit for space is to take something that swims and give it a gun that fires a wrecking ball. Here we are at a 500 cost match in the underground base map. The Gasha is a general type mobile suit starting at 350 cost. With no weapons that fire more than 300 meters, it is only fit for close combat. The most recognizable feature, the hammer gun, claims to have a range of 150 meters, but that doesn't seem to be the case in practice. If you aim upwards and slightly towards the left, it will drop onto the opponent at a rather significant range. This hammer shot stuns the opponent harder than a usual stun, and is deadly if your team can follow up properly. It can also stop opponents with maneuver armor, so while you have to stand still to fire it, the payoff is pretty high, especially when used to stop opposing raid types. The missile pods are also excellent. 8 missiles that can be fired without using thrusters stops enemies at 3 hits and reloads really quickly. Here our opponent did a terribly timed tackle and is punished accordingly. 2 melees and a full missile salvo. The Gasha is also heavily armored. While it seemed to hurt more towards the side, the Gasha can take a lot more punishment in the face. Literally. Because the head is integrated with the body, the 20% damage reduction for the skill's special head buffer works for most of the suit's body. The ground type Mundum makes another mistake and we crack his kneecaps from the side, finishing him off. I love you, hammer gun. If you have feet, then you have kneecaps. Steady, fire. Scratch the shoulders only, but what matters is it counts. Teammates follow up on that, lovely damage. The hammer gun does have a long reload time of 15 seconds, so we have to use that wisely. Our teammates stunned the support type, so we go in for his kneecaps again. Missiles, iron nails, a bit brutal, but this is a game of finishing off each other, so it is what it is. Opposing team spawns in, a terrible choice because they will be down in numbers, advantage again. Opposing team planted a bomb at 5 minutes. If that was my teammate, I'd probably be molding right now because the last thing we need is one less person on our team. We missed our precious hammer gun shot, that's a bit of a shame, we have to use our missiles for now. Opponent somehow didn't see us or chose to ignore us. We should have went in for some iron nails, but we missed the opportunity. This suit is after all a bit wide, so taking hits like this one is pretty unavoidable. Retaliation time. We hit our camera gun, bonk, and he's on his knees. We'll let our team do the rest of the damage, not likely to do much against support types. Our opponent seems to be making quite a lot of bad choices. When your team is down in numbers and is clearly going to lose the fight, don't jump in to lose more points. Wait for your entire team to be ready to respawn together and move as a full team. Most likely your opponent is already weakened from the last move. Steady, upper left, fire. That is probably as far as the hammer gun can go, and that is definitely not 150 meters.
I love you, kitchen gun!
While this suit is designed based on the amphibious suit Zugok, it somehow carried none of his aquatic traits and take the buffs underwater just like any other mobile suit. We try to go for more bonks but gets bonked ourselves. Good thing we managed to crack one last kneecap before we explode underwater where our predecessors used to thrive. Respawn. While our team is really down in numbers, they are ready to respawn and our opponent was pretty spread off, so we just have to hold them back for a while, in theory. In hindsight, this isn't that great of an idea. It is always better to wait for your entire team to respawn and move as a group of 6. Numbers advantage is very important in this game, but since it's just a quick match, let's not try to think too much about it. There's a support type on the bridge to our right, so we have to carefully position ourselves not to get into his line of sight. That missile swarm just now clearly showed where that would be. Whatever that ground Gundam is doing, we try to put in the shot, but it's a bit too slow. Here a teammate goes down, maybe swanning really isn't a good idea as I explained a while ago. Now we have to hold back the entire enemy wave until our team respawns. The enemy pushed up from the left and we get shot from both directions. Things start to get chaotic and we have to dodge for a brief moment of safety. We keep calm and break a kneecap. Numbers disadvantage kicking in really hard here. 3 opponents together can stun you for pretty much permanently. All we can do is let our armor take the beating. Thankfully, the Gasha is tough, and after all those melee attacks, we are still alive. Putting in the custom part field motor is highly suggested on the Gasha, as it helps in these kind of close combat situations where it tends to end up in. There's nothing we can do here about our inability to fight with our left side, which our opponent took advantage of, and we are finished up with a melee combo after a really good tackle bait. Another bad spawn, but there doesn't seem to be much of a chance to do anything if we wait for the next wave, and our opponent is also quite split. Not the best way to win, but a good way to get extra bonk footage. Our teammate gets chased by 3 enemies and we try to stop them with the missiles. While we stopped one of them, it didn't prevent our teammate from blowing up. Our hammer gun managed to hit someone in that smoke, but now we're in a one-on-one duel. The opponent is a raid type. There's no way we're losing this if we hit the hammer gun. We stall for a while for the hammer to reload, then we wait for him to move close enough. He makes the terrible choice of not following up on his stun, and the glorious hammer brings him his death sentence. Now we only have the final minute left. Whatever our teammate is doing there, we'll try to help with some missiles, and we try once again for a maximum range hammer gun. Bonk, and it connects. Talk about satisfying shots. We move in for some iron nails and missiles to finish off, but our superb teamwork puts us down. Our teammate manages to finish the enemy off in the end, so that's all fine, but usually we try to avoid down attacks when teammates are around, since it might cause everyone to miss lethal. Final 30 seconds. The fight is pretty much set, so we can go in without much wording. Steady. Steady. We have only one chance, so we have to hit this time. We did hit, but too bad we hit the shield. Final maneuvers, and we'll end with some missiles, iron nails, and a scythe to our face. Make that 2. That's the Gasha for you. Weird looking and equally weird in practice, but tough and lets the hammer gun do all the talking for it. With unparalleled stopping power, simply don't challenge it at close ranges. That's it from me, and until next time, happy matchmaking. I sure hope they fix that soon.